most of us as guys, especially the ones that aren't really trying or believe it's possible, are never gonna know the true capacity of a woman, the true capacity of her amazingness, of her power, of her ability to open into love, and also for the guys watching this, open into sex. As guys, I was thinking about this a lot the last few days, more than usual. As guys, a lot of times we kind of write women off without realizing we do. Women do this as well, but they do it in a very different way. Because we look at women and we just go, yeah, they're so fluid and they say this and they say that. Have you ever seen them try to order at a restaurant? Like, it's confusing. You know, I love them. You know, there's something about them, but they're all crazy. That's the conclusion that we come to as men, most of us. Women kind of do their version of the same thing and look at men as being too rational and too simple, and it's like, they're all stupid. Which, think about living in a world where 50% of the population doesn't understand the other 50%. Welcome to life. God clearly has a sense of humor. Thanks for joining us on planet Earth. So why I wanted to make this video today is people are confused, men are confused, and I'm more than ever before believe very few people will ever have the privilege of having the true capacity of a woman. I'm gonna tell you a quick story. I was in my mid-20s. I'll be 40 in a few weeks. I was in Chicago. I was part of this, meetup group, personal development, whatever. And this woman wanted some feedback from me, and it turned into like a coaching session at the end of the night. So meaning we did our group seminar meeting with 20 people, and then she's like, hey, can we talk? And I started helping her through something. And I'll never forget what she said to me. And I thought about it a lot this last week. I don't know, it's been years since I've thought about it. And I was 25, 26, maybe 27, something like that. She was probably 52, and I was a young coach back then. And we get to talking, and she's telling me about the relationship she wants and this and that. And guys, if you're listening to this right now, this is really a powerful story of cracking the code of women, of seeing something going, oh, wow, that's a thing? Because before I heard this, I didn't know this was a thing. And since I've talked to a lot of women, women have opened up to me on calls and relationships to share something very similar. So this woman's talking, and I'll call her Lisa. Her name's not Lisa, so I'll protect her identity here. And Lisa's saying all this stuff, and she's basically painting a picture of her ultimate relationship vision, right? So she's painting this picture, and Lisa's talking, and then she gets to the sex part. Now, she's twice my age. I'm like a new, young rookie coach who's 25 years old or something, 26. And some of the stuff she was saying, well, I'll let you be the judge. She goes, she's talking about safety and how important it is for a woman to feel safe. By the way, that's tobacco, not something else. And she's talking about how important it is to feel safe. And that part I understood on a basic level. And she keeps talking. And she's like, I'm gonna feel so safe in a relationship that I just open completely sexually. She didn't say what that meant, but I could kind of read between the lines. She goes, I wanna feel so safe with my man and in sex that I wanna try things that I said I would never try. I wanna trust him and feel so safe with him that he takes the lead, and I'll do things I never do. I'll do all the things I said I was scared to do. And I'm sitting there as a 26-year-old going, what the hell is going on? This woman's talking about so almost that she'd feel so safe that she'd be willing to explore something that felt so dangerous before. I had no clue what that meant. If you're watching this video and you have little to no clue, gentlemen, you're right on target. What that showed me was the first time I had it as an example of someone I knew that I don't think most men will ever scratch the surface of what it is to have an opened woman. And let's look at two categories of what open means. There's many. that they've opened their heart to you, that they feel so safe, that especially if they've been single and independent for a while, that they've been metaphorically driving the car of life, and they finally felt a man was honest enough, was consistent enough, had solid integrity, that he's a safe man to let him drive the car. So she can sit and enjoy the view in the passenger seat. So safe in her heart, safe in her emotions, which is directly connected for men and women. Men, sometimes we're not aware, to her sexuality. Wow, I totally trust this guy, I can let go. To maybe she wasn't into a certain sexual position and now she's, I want to try that. Or maybe she wasn't into oral sex and now she's, I want to give that, I want to receive that, whatever it is. And I've thought of this for years. It's been on my mind a lot the last week. I don't think most men will ever get to experience a truly unlocked woman. Unless you want to, and you're willing to do something. You have to be willing to crack the code of women, but one thing that's an even bigger prerequisite, are you showing up as that guy? And if you're not, great. You know, before this video is over, what are 3 things you need to integrate, you need to heal, you need to let go of, you need to start doing, you need to stop doing in order to become that guy? And it's made me think, I look at relationships and I find them so fascinating because you have 3 big areas of life, right? We have health, which, did you lose the weight? Did you gain the muscle? Can you lift more weights? Can you run fast? It's pretty tangible in, did you make a real big movement? I lost 46 pounds 12 years ago. That was the first time I made a big movement. So I was like, it was cool for me to go, that's quantifiable. Or someone loses 100 pounds. Or money, to go, okay, you quit your job and you started a business and you tripled your income. So people spend more time in the health of the finances, but the relationship, a lot of people don't want to invest there, especially not men. Men were not as driven for a few reasons. I'll touch on more in another video. The first one is we don't believe we can understand women or we can make any sense of them. So it clouds the whole thing. If we're stuck there, I would say it's impossible to have the full love, full sex experience that will blow your mind. So if you don't have a desire to crack the code of women, to make sense of women, to understand what women are thinking, you'll always be behind. It's just a reality. So, you know, in part making the video to go, well, it's kind of like accepting you're just always going to be fat. I don't mean that in a mean way, but if you go, hey, you know what, I'm just never going to eat chicken salads and protein shakes and go to the gym. That's like, this is just who I am. And why I'm sharing this is because, and I'm a bald, short, single, shirtless guy in my living room making this video in Columbia, from Wisconsin, by the way, to make it even more fun. And why I'm sharing this is because I've had parts of that component. I've had a relationship where I knew enough and I had to feel safe and was more sexually unlocked. I had more where hearts were unlocked. I had another one where it's like mentally, emotionally unlocked. And why I know it's true is because I've seen very select other couples have it. A lot of couples, especially Western couples, they'll be afraid of the sex part. More about that later. If you don't have that, I don't think you have the whole thing. And especially if you're a guy in a monogamous relationship and the sex part isn't there or you don't have help on that, it doesn't feel too great. And that's why we go to drugs. That's why we go to porn. That's why we go to cheating as men. So, do you want to become the guy to be able to have the full experience of a woman? What's beautiful if you're the guy that cares enough or just believes it's possible or has the heart and the balls to understand women, because it does take both. Because we can just be kind of weak as men to go, they're all just crazy. And we can be afraid. We don't call it that, we just blame it on them. So if you're the kind of guy that has done personal development, spirituality, whatever, plant medicine, this, that, biohacking, and you want to grow, and you know that you got to be right with you, right? Because if you're all messed up, got way too much stuff going on, in conflict, and you're going to be dating women in that same position. But if you're the kind of guy that you know you got to be right with you, you got to be integrity with you. And then from that place of wholeness, you're finding the girlfriend, the wife. And also you want to build a family. There's very few people, not that can do that, but that believe it's possible. You need the right systems, the right help, the right framework. But it's really got me to thinking more and more and more than ever before, which says a lot, because I've thought about this for years again. So many guys are never going to experience that. And if you're a woman watching, I would love you to comment, because not just the men don't know what they're missing, but the women also don't know. They know I'd like to feel this way if I could have part of, that guy that I had where I felt safe, that he was masculine and tough. And then this guy, yeah, it was nice. He was safe in my emotions, but then I realized he was too feminine and he was kind of wimpy. So women have a different challenge where they'll sometimes believe they can't have integration, like both those guys together. So are you the guy that's ready to play the game at a bigger level? What I can tell you, even though I'm not in that relationship yet, I will be. Because why would I choose anything else? To me, it doesn't make any sense. You have to have the courage to choose it. You have to have the courage to believe it. And we're moving into a time, and like I said, I know, some of these couples and seen it, where that's almost for the first time an actual choice. 150 years ago, a relationship vision, it was like, okay, he's like, yeah, I'm attracted to her and she stays home with the kids and she cooks and cleans. And she better not cheat on me. I don't know if they thought that the cheating thing. That was the relationship vision. And then hers was, he comes from a good family, he provides, he doesn't beat me, and he takes care of the kids. These were relationship visions 100 years ago. So if you're the kind of guy that has the heart, has the balls to know it's a divine mission, a quest to understand women, that it's not to sound too airy-fairy, hippy-dippy, but to unlock something greater in the universe. Because if you believe that's possible, or even if you're open to that being possible, and you decide to be that guy and step into that guy, I don't think most of us will ever experience. It's like really amazing sex. I mean, really amazing sex, where you don't know, you're not sure what happened. Even if both the man and the woman talked about it, they couldn't recreate it. You kind of know, all right, we danced, or we had a really fun night, or we laughed a lot at the comedy show. And usually there'll be a substance involved, alcohol or weed or whatever. And it's we drank a decent amount, but we didn't drink too much, but we drank enough. And things just kind of fall into place. So also, if we use that sex metaphor, that's not sustainable or replicatable. But what if there was a formula? What if there was a way of you understanding and making sense of women? That level of physical, that level of emotional intimacy was something you experience regularly. I didn't say it was going to be easy all the time, but it would be worth it and deeply, deeply fulfilling. And why I'm making this video tonight is because we're entering almost a different era of, you can choose to sculpt yourself as a man more than ever before in human history. You can also be confused by your phone and bombarded by stuff on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook more than ever in human history. So I wonder, and it's an invitation and a challenge to you as a guy, are you the type of guy, or would you like to be the type of guy now that will rise to step into becoming that man, to experience a woman totally open? Something that we've experienced emotionally or sexually for a night, for a moment, for that one weekend, something was different. To tap into where, is that every day? No, shit happens. But it's a lot of the time. And what a lot of women won't tell us, and from their perspective, they shouldn't. More on that in another video. They can't teach you how to do it. They don't want to be your therapist or your life coach. I don't know about you, gentlemen. I've been the guy kind of knowing how to do it. I've been the guy messing up and trying and her turning into my therapist. So I don't know if you've been both. I certainly have in the past. We're going into a new era of what relationships and family are, where they have a capacity for a different level of magnificence and magnification, and just like depth than almost ever before. But not that many people will choose them. So leave you with this. I said it before, I'll say it again. Are you the type of guy that wants to experience the absolute fullness of a woman? The fullness that if you're a guy watching this, that could excite you and simultaneously go, women's power is kind of different than ours. Like, that shit might be scary. It will. It'll be so big and so beautiful. You have times where you're in your center and maybe shitting your pants simultaneously. And the guys that write the books and do the seminars, the real ones, they'll tell you the same thing. I'll tell you the same thing. To know the stuff and then get in a situation and be like, oh, this was more intense. Okay, shouldn't I know everything by now? It doesn't feel like I do. Do you want to fully experience a woman? Do you want to unlock a woman fully? Because most men, and again, as guys, we go to porn, we go to drugs, we go to cheating, we go to not wanting to commit. Because I don't think most of us even know the capacity, the power of a fully unlocked woman. Also, they don't know because they've never felt that safe across the board. Something to think about on this rainy Tuesday night. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you have the heart and the balls to dive into women and to understand the magnificence and see what I'm seeing. And it's not that hard and it doesn't take that much work. It's simply knowing where to look and not learning about women from women. A fish cannot teach you how to catch a fish or understand a fish. Thank you for tuning in, gents. Much love. See you soon.